Welcome to Psalmist's Voice in the Night. I am Psalmist, here to guide you through the incredible tapestry of the Bible, where each book weaves together the story of God's plan for humanity and the reflection of Christ. Let's explore the names, meanings, and Christ centered themes of each book of the Bible. Old Testament. In the book of Genesis, beginnings, Christ is the seed of the woman who will crush the serpent's head. Exodus, exit. Christ is the Passover lamb whose blood saves from death. Leviticus, law. Christ is the high priest and the ultimate sacrifice. Numbers, wilderness. Christ is the lifted up serpent bringing healing. Deuteronomy, second law. Christ is the prophet like Moses. Joshua, Yahweh saves. Christ is the commander of the Lord's army. Judges, Judges. Christ is the ultimate judge and deliverer. Ruth, friendship. Christ is the kinsman redeemer. 1 Samuel, asked of God. Christ is the anointed one, foreshadowing King David. So 2 Samuel. Christ is the king whose throne is eternal. 1 Kings, Kings. Christ is the greater Solomon, embodying wisdom and peace. 2 Kings, 2 Kings. Christ is reflected through the prophets who speak God's that's truth. 1 Chronicles, Chronicles. Christ is the son of David who reigns forever. 2 Chronicles, 2 Chronicles. Christ is the temple and God's dwelling place. Ezra, help. Christ is the restorer of the temple and true worship. Nehemiah, comfort of Yahweh. Christ is the rebuilder of what is broken. Esther, star. Christ is our advocate, intervening for his people. Job, persecuted. Christ is the suffering servant and our redeemer. Psalms, praises. Christ is the good shepherd and the king of glory. Proverbs, wisdom. Christ is the embodiment of God's wisdom. Ecclesiastes, teacher. Christ is the meaning of life. Song of Solomon, Song of Songs. Christ is the bridegroom who loves his bride. Isaiah, salvation of Yahweh. Christ is the suffering servant and Prince of Peace. Jeremiah, Yahweh exalts. Christ is the righteous branch. Lamentations, laments. Christ's sorrow over Jerusalem. Ezekiel, God strengthens. Christ is the Son of Man and the Good Shepherd. Daniel, God is my judge. Christ is the fourth man in the fiery furnace. Hosea, salvation. Christ is the faithful husband. Joel, Yahweh is God. Christ is the one who pours out the Spirit. Amos, burden bearer. Christ is the restorer of David's fallen tent. Obadiah, servant of Yahweh. Christ is the Savior on Mount Zion. Jonah, dove. Christ is the one who spent 3 days in the heart of the earth. Micah, who is like God? Christ is the ruler, born in Bethlehem. Nahum, comfort. Christ is our stronghold in the day of trouble. Habakkuk, embrace. Christ is the one who justifies by faith. Zephaniah, Yahweh hides. Christ is the King of Israel in our midst. Haggai, festival. Christ is the desire of all nations. Zechariah, Yahweh remembers. Christ is the pierced one. Malachi, my messenger. Christ is the Son of righteousness with healing in its wings. New Testament, Matthew, gift of Yahweh. Christ is the King and Messiah. Mark, warlike. Christ is the suffering servant. Luke, light giving. Christ is the Son of Man and Savior of all. John, Yahweh is gracious. Christ is the Word made flesh. Acts, Acts of the Apostles. Christ is the risen Lord and giver of the Spirit. Romans, Roman citizens. Christ is our righteousness. 1 Corinthians, Corinthian citizens. Christ is the power and wisdom of God. 2 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians. Christ is our comforter. Galatians, Gaul citizens. Christ is our freedom. Ephesians, Ephesian citizens. Christ is the head of the church. Philippians, Philippian citizens. Christ is our joy and strength. Colossians, Colossian citizens, Christ is the fullness of God. First Thessalonians, Thessalonian citizens, Christ is our hope. 2 Thessalonians, Second Thessalonians, Christ is our returning King. First Timothy, honoring God, Christ is our mediator. Second Timothy, Christ is our faithful Lord. Titus, honorable, Christ is our blessed hope. Philemon, affectionate, Christ is our advocate. Hebrews, Hebrew citizens, Christ is our high priest. James, supplanter, Christ is our wisdom. First Peter, rock, Christ is the cornerstone. Second Peter,